Good evening from the CBS LA newsroom. I'm assignment editor Mike Rogers. Here at the desk, we are tracking a pursuit of a motorcycle. Looks like a dirt bike. SkyCal's Desmond Shaw is overhead. Des, we just saw a CHP unit try to pull him over once again, and the guy is not stopping. All right, we're going to work on getting Desmond's audio set up there, but I can tell you this is a specialized unit of the California Highway Patrol. It is one of their tactical units, their enforcement units that have been out there that particularly look for problematic issues like this, like street takeovers, like these out-of-control dirt bikes that are going through the town and doing these various things. They have been tracking this for quite some time. There's a CHP fixed wing that is overhead. Units pulled off of it for a little while, and just moments ago, that's what we were waiting for, is for that unit to come back up behind it and try to stop it, and that is what happened. And the unit has, the dirt bike rather, as you can see, has not stopped. Now, this rider was going a lot faster, but in the last couple of minutes, he's actually been on his cell phone. Look at this. As the CHP unit gets right up against him there, he has been on his cell phone. He had a helmet on at one point and took it off so he could talk on the phone. He still has the phone in one of his hands there, even though that CHP unit is right behind him. Obviously, problematic here for the CHP is that this guy's on a dirt bike, which makes it difficult for them to do any kind of pursuit intervention technique. No pit maneuvers here. No spike strips are going to happen as you deal with a guy that is on this dirt bike here coming through Gardena and Denver Avenue. We are just kind of in the Gardena area. We are south of the 105, just off the 110, just to the west side of the 110, or excuse me, the east side, I believe, of the 110 freeway here on Figueroa and Gardena. Figueroa has been a constant street. There you look at him. It looks like, I can't even tell. It looks like he may be even recording or on FaceTime. He's got a phone up to his face there. I think we have communication with Des. Des, can you hear us now? All right, we don't have Desmond quite yet there, but it looks like, yeah, look at that. He's either
I bet he's live streaming
on FaceTime. Yeah, Des thinks he may be live streaming, I hear him saying. So, yeah, I mean, look, obviously this guy does not seem to be too concerned over law enforcement that is obviously right behind him and has been trying to pull him over. He's, now totally disregarding the law and what the public officials want him to do as he's got the phone up. Now, we have seen CHP.
Okay, well, welcome to our CBS viewers here as we are looking at a
We have
very
seen the CHP in the
pursuit
past.
along Broadway and Gardena.
Come in here and actually try to.
It's CHP that is in pursuit of a dirt bike, not a motorcycle. This is a dirt bike. It was wanted for speed, but probably also the fact that it's just on public roadways, because a bike like this is definitely not legal. As we take a look here, as we zoom in on this motorcyclist right now, you can see he actually had his helmet on, and then we got overhead and he threw his helmet off, and he is at the very least on his phone. I suspect that he's live streaming as we double in. It's really just ridiculous thing to see this guy on these streets not paying attention. He's got his phone in his hand. He's not wearing a helmet. He's been going through red lights, stoplights here. CHP, this is such a kind of delicate situation. You see, they want to try to get in front of him. They have to be careful because they don't want this person to wipe out and create any kind of, liability problems. Wrong side of the road driving now, just, again, for absolutely no reason, just taunting officers as we're on Broadway. He was doing this on Imperial Highway earlier as well. Really just kind of ridiculous. Now he can't even get back over to the right side here for this section as the road is divided. So CHP trying to kind of take this as gingerly as they can. They try to kind of box him in there, but obviously very nimble on a dirt bike here, able to, squeeze into some pretty tight places and around those officers, and they don't want to be too aggressive lest this person crash and get seriously injured. So it's just a really tough situation for CHP officers. Kind of surprised that CHP is the one that's involved in this, because we've only seen this on surface streets. LA County Sheriff's deputies have had their helicopter overhead. This originated in South LA in the LAX airspace, and took us quite some time just to be able to work our way over to this area in Compton to follow this. But it's just very telling how this person had a helmet on at the very least, and then decided to discard that, and is now, on the phone, doubling in again. Maybe he's not live streaming, just talking to someone. We've seen quite a few of these dirt bike pursuits before. One that comes to mind was a couple of dirt bikes that were on streets, and then they were on the phone as well, and all of a sudden a bunch of their dirt biking buddies came along and joined them, and it turned into like this group gathering, and CHP ended up just kind of giving it up after so many people got involved. They just said, you know what, it's just not even worth it. So, you know, it's just so tough for law enforcement these days with kind of trying to balance this act. You know, we don't want to embolden. Here we go. Let's see if this is going to go. Oh, that was pretty close. But they still kind of have to give the suspect a little bit of leeway to get around. He just kind of casually, you know, jerks the handlebars to get away. Just, you know, really taunting officers here. And we've just seen such a rash of this in recent years where it's like the whole MO of these suspects is just to be as aggravating as possible to law enforcement and almost kind of dare them to do something about it. Seems, you know, pretty ridiculous when you consider that there's, you know, very high probability that this bike could be impounded, you know, for a significant amount of time, if not permanently, and whatever this could do for their record. Do we have anchors in the studio?
Hi, Des. Yeah, I'm here at the in the newsroom here. We're watching this along with you. We've got the CHP officer behind it, and I just want to echo Desmond's point. They don't have a ton of options here. So, as we mentioned, no spike strips, no pit maneuvers. But what the CHP is trying to do, and what we have been watching them do, is attempting to get in front of this guy. We did watch at one point, even a separate chase that Des was referencing here, that they actually were able to knock the guy off of the bike. So, CHP is, at least it looks like that's what they're trying to do. In this scenario, the problem is, as Des mentioned, you have to be able to do it, you know, to a somewhat gingerly extent, right? You don't want to overly use too much force here, especially with patrol cars, and potentially injure the suspect here. They, of course, are taking that into account now as they do all of this. But those CHP officers, one there in the Charger, the other in the Ford Explorer right behind him, trying to get this guy to stop. The guy is clearly aware that he's being chased. There's helicopters overhead. There's ground units down below. It almost looks like he's getting frustrated now. He's back on the phone, you know, just kind of delaying the inevitable here, which is the fact that he is going to go to jail. Here CHP comes in again, and he, you know, he's aware of what they're doing. He can see them that they're trying to come up and, you know, potentially knock him off or be able to catch him in a spot where he doesn't have anywhere to go, and they can just kind of drag him off the bike and take him into custody. But at this point, they've not been able to do that. I thought for a second they were going to be able to when they got him, and there it is. Is that another picture? Is he on FaceTime? Is he streaming? Clearly, yeah, he's yelling at the camera there. He's obviously paying more attention to what's on his phone and whoever he's talking to than the units. Here we go again. Let's see if they can box him in. Oh man, they really are trying. They really want to get this over with. And look, yep, stop right behind him. Is this going to be it? Here we go. This is it. All right, so he's finally had enough. He's agitated, but you know what? He's off the bike. They're going to take him into custody. Again, this is that specialized unit that is really focused on trying to deal with these problems throughout the region of these street takeovers, of these people that are doing this. So clearly, it would appear to me that he would know these two people here that he has stopped next to. So if that's who he was calling the whole time, if he was trying to get home to be able to deal with this, all of that is unclear. But look how quickly. He is in handcuffs. He'll be in the back of a patrol car soon, and he'll be facing these charges. At minimum, he'll be facing the evading charges, which was obviously running from law enforcement. And then, of course, they'll see what else is going on. They may tack on a couple of charges related to, you know, the not wearing a helmet, the using the phone, the different things like that that could all play into factor here. But again, this guy who was driving, the original one was speed. And we should also remind you, pardon me, we should also remind you that this was one of two people that CHP was originally chasing. Originally, there were two dirt bikes where people were going at too fast of speeds and were wanted by the CHP. One of them got away, it appears. The other one obviously is the man we've been following here, who evaded law enforcement for as long as he could. But CHP, this specialized unit, just really wasn't able to, or really wasn't willing to give up. And I think that's going to be the difference in some of these cases that we're looking at, where you have, you know, regular patrol cops. They may have not have chased this as hard, but this unit with the CHP is particularly designed to deal with these issues as they pertain to the Southern California region. So this is all coming to an end now. Obviously, it's just a dirt bike, so there's really nothing else for them to search. They'll obviously search him, run him, figure out what the deal is, if the dirt bike is stolen, if it's his, who it belongs to, all of those circumstances. And it does appear that he came back to potentially somebody, or at least two people that he knew. They were already out on the sidewalk, and that's kind of where he gave up and was able to be taken into custody. So with this guy in handcuffs, we are going to go ahead and return our viewers on CBS LA on KCAL 9 back to your normally scheduled programming. We will join you for CBS LA at 8 on KCAL 9 in about 30 minutes.